Hello, in this video we're going to learn how to write our analysis for body paragraph number 2. So go ahead and pause the video and scroll to body paragraph 2 and then find your analysis. So pause and go. In this paragraph we're trying to argue if the revolution was more harmful or beneficial. I'm doing positive because I have decided that the French Revolution caused more benefit because it gave them the rights that they had been fighting for, such as they can now participate in the government and they now have freedom such as freedom of speech. So I'm going to analyze my first quote, which talks about how people can now take part in the government. And there's 3 steps to do analysis: explain it, break it down, tie it back. In the first explain it, you guys already know how to do this. I just explained the evidence in my own words. So here's how I would do it. I first read the quote. The new French Constitution states, men are born and remain free and equal in rights. All citizens have the right to take part in the government. So how would I write this in my own words? I would say, in this quote, the third estate is demanding their rights and freedoms in their new constitution by stating that all humans are born free and equal, so they should participate in the government. I just paraphrase it in my own words. Now the next part is I have to break down this quote. Which words specifically show benefit or harm? The first thing I would do is pause the video and underline the quote and the specific words in here that show benefit or harm, if I'm doing positive, benefit. So let me see. Men are born and remain free, equal in rights. Those are all positive. All citizens have the right to take part in government. Right to take part in government. Which one am I going to choose? Well, let me see. What am I arguing in my claim? I'm saying that they mostly got to take part in their government. So I think this part makes more sense if I chose that quote. So let me choose that quote over here and to break it down. The words that specifically show how French citizens got more rights are all citizens have right to take part in government. Okay, these are my specific quotes. Now that I've chosen my specific phrase, I gotta explain, why was this positive? What does this lead to? So now I can do the arrows. Here I have to explain, how does participating in government lead to positive or benefits? Why is that good? Well, let me see. What happens when you participate in government? Let's do the arrows here. When I participate in government, why is that good? I have to keep asking myself, why is that good or why is that bad? So why is that good? Well, I get to have a voice. What happens when I get to have a voice? I get to vote. What happens when I vote? I get to decide on laws and leaders. Well, why is that good when I get to decide on laws? Well, that could help me in deciding, that could help me decide laws, which would then help me to get what I want. So if I get what I want, like if I got the job that I want, if I got the leader that I want, I would be a happier citizen. And if I'm a happier citizen, I'm not gonna be violent. No violence. I will probably like my government, so I'll be more peaceful government. And if I have a peaceful government, this is good enough. But one thing that I would like you guys to do here is to think long term. How would this help me in the long term, or the country in the long term? If everyone is participating in the government and they're happier, there's no violence, there's peace in the long term. If there's a lot of peace, the economy could improve because people are not fighting and there's no war. And so all of this could show how participating in the government could overall lead to a better society. So can you take a moment to now underline your quote and see what is the quote that you chose? And how is that going to really improve or harm your country in the long run? So now let me change this to words, okay? I like the arrows, but I gotta make this into a paragraph. So let me put it together, okay? When people participate in their government, This would lead to, let's make this orange. This will lead to them having a voice. Later, or as a result, they would vote, which leads to them being able to decide on laws and leaders. So people will be able to get what they want, which leads to happier citizens who are not violent and will be able to have a more peaceful country and government. In the long run, this peaceful country could also allow the economy to improve. Okay, I think that's a good breakdown. Now let's tie it back. How does this evidence prove that the revolution was beneficial? Or how does this prove my claim that the revolution was, that people could now take part in the government? Well, let me tie it back. This evidence proves my claim that the revolution in France improved the country because it shows how allowing people to take part in the government could lead to a more peaceful and successful country. Great, and this is my claim right here. I can make that yellow. Okay, this is how you do explain it, break it down, tie it back. If you need some help, click on here and it will take you to sentence starters for body paragraph 2. So there's some sentence starters here, and there's going to be, yeah, you guys have the rest of the period to do this. Please get started right away by looking at your quote and explaining it in your own words, choosing the best lines to analyze right here. Once you choose those lines, you can use the arrows to explain how it's going to either improve or harm the country, and then tie it back. Great. Let me know if you have any questions or you don't understand this process. I think you get it though. Have a nice day.